Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle-earth here with a video on how you can accurately break down your battle reports and see how well your army is actually doing. In this report here, for example, this is a draw where we pretty much drew out evenly, and it started the conversation of, how much do the troops cost in both armies? How long do they take to conscript or hire? Because if there is a serious difference in the cost of the troops at the time you need to recruit them, uh, a draw may not actually be an accurate summary of your battle. You could have won very outright or lost a lot more than it looks like here. So we've got a spreadsheet put together. I'm going to get into it in just a second, but if you want to see how you can break down each report individually as well as all your reports from a period of time. So for example, on stream today, we did 10 PvP attacks, and I've got all those in the spreadsheet, and I can see if I made out positive or negative on the day. I've got all that coming up in just one second with the spreadsheet linked down below. So stay tuned, all that coming up. So here you can see the spreadsheet, and again, all you got to do is once you have it pulled up from the description, you click File and make a copy. And assuming you are signed into a Google account, it will make your own copy that you can manipulate and change. You can adjust things. You can play around with different, extensions of this idea. But that is linked down below. Shout out to Lotr who put this together for me, the framework for it, and Law who walked me through some of the mathematical stuff to make sure things are weighted properly and just done accurately, because I am by no means an expert at this. I kind of dream up the idea and think, hey, it'd be cool to do this. And people very quickly came alongside and said, yeah, we can do this for you. So shout out to those guys for making this possible, at least a lot quicker than I would have been able to do it. And it may have been kind of sketchy. So appreciate the help on that. But this is a quick look at what this spreadsheet looks like. So let's hop back over to the game and show you the first report that we're going to put into this into the spreadsheet. So on stream today, this was our first hit. This was against this Grima. Again, we did some clairvoyance, trying to find good matchups and see what we could get going. And this was the trade here. So you can see that our total losses and the enemy's total losses in terms of wounded and dead are here. And we're going to very simply put these values into the spreadsheet, and it's going to tell us how we did in this battle, and we're going to do it for all our battles and see how we did over a period of time. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the report put in here. Now we have the Crushers, Raiders, and Reapers, and their dead and wounded totals, as well as the Reaper Guardians guards the tower from our enemy with their totals here. Again, there's this menu here, so you can go through and get every unit in the game. They're tied to a different tab in this sheet that has all the values for everything put in there. Again, huge shout out to Linux for giving me the framework for this to make this a lot cleaner than anything I could come up with. But very simply put, you put your numbers in here like this. You scroll down just a little bit and you see there's a summary. So you can see the total resources used in the entire battle between both your individual, breakdowns, army 1 and 2, and then the actual percentage. So again, the 100% total is all the resources in the battle. So you want to be as close to 0 as possible, because that means you expended little to no resources compared to your enemy. So if you full wipe someone without losing anything, you'd be close to 0. If you get full wiped with the enemy not losing much, you'd be close to 100%. So they are color coded. Green is good, so below 50% is good. And in this battle, you can see on that Grima, we were at 34.57%, and we were at 34.27% on the time. I find the times are usually pretty close in comparison to the resources, but that may not always be the case. Also, if there's gold involved, right now it's not coded to give you a percentage for gold because most of them don't have gold, and most of the time both won't be using gold, but it is here. So if you do put in, let's say, some great beasts, which are in one of our reports that we looked at today, you'll see the gold that they lost in that. But you could very easily copy this formula here, and if troops that cost gold are put in, you'll see the actual gold difference as well, which can be a very big factor here. So just something to note, that you'll see the gold there. And if you click the square on the very bottom right and drag that over, it'll copy that formula in that row. But there's not one there right now, so I just have it cleaned out. So again, you can see that report was a very, very good trade for us there. And now I'm not going to sit here and on the video go through and do every single one. I'm going to finish those and then show you guys the totals. But again, as you can see here, we hit this with our gore bag. Then we came in with our Gandalf the Grey and cleaned this up. That was our next hit. And I just went through. Then we had, let's see, our next one I think was our Dwalin here. So we hit a Witch King with our Dwalin, for example. Here we hit a Witch King with our Gandalf the Grey, and then hit a Kieran. So we put all these in because, again, you look at this report right here and you might think, okay, I won. I full wiped Witch King. But then, again, my one army still got full wiped at the end of this one. So the actual difference or gain is going to come down to, what it calculates out in this battle. So these resources lost to take this trade So that adds all those things together and takes them all into consideration. So again, we went through there. It was a good day. We've got our last report is actually a bad one. I had a gill coming in. I got a little cheeky. I tried to throw on the Pursuit Wizard Fireworks. Still did not go well for us. This definitely brought our percentage up, which we don't want. But I want to now show you the total page so you can see how we did on the day and how this could work for you to go through and do that for yourself if you're interested. So again, like I said, here is the spreadsheet, and we've got report 1, 2, all the way through 10. There's going to be 10 blank report sheets. You could go through and add 1,000 of these if you want to. You just have to make sure to adjust the formulas to take them into consideration for the total sheet. It's pretty easy, but I did 10 to start. So as you can see, each one we go through here, this was report 2 at 19.54%. Report 3 was at 25%. 4 is at 35. 5 was at 35. 6 was at 28. I was trying to move around there. 7 was at 20. 8 was at 55. So this is one of those that we hit with something first, and then the cleanup here was a second hit. So 55 is still not bad for it being a these two kind of go together. 9 here was a positive one, and 10 was a negative one. So all those are plugged in. You can see different, this is the Knights, the Heralds, and the Gill, all that kind of stuff. So if we go over to the total page, you can see all of our individual scores here, and they're kind of coded. So the greener they are, the better the trades were. Our best one being about 19 or 20% on these couple of fights here. And the darker red they are, the worse they are. So 66% was our worst one for the day. But overall, having 8 out of 10 over 50 and our highest being 66, I think is pretty good. So all these things are added up here. We get a total resource cost for all the battles from both sides, and our total loss from just our side on all the battles. And that gives us a percentage right here to show that we were at 36.26% for the day. So overall, very good day. In my opinion, anything below 50 is great. If you're in a resource deficit like we are, we have less resources. You really want to be seeing those numbers that are probably, south of 40 if possible. 40, less than 45 would be still solid. But if you're trading even, but they have more resources over time, you're not really winning because you're just keeping pace, but they're keeping up with the resources more. So I can't do 10 battles as often as they can do 10 battles, if that makes sense. But 10 battles like this with the 36%, I could keep up with this even if someone has more resources than me because I took some good trades. Really, the Dwalin fight was a stupid one on my part, and I kind of called myself out for it on stream of just that you kind of get that itch to send and I want to see if I can get a good trade, and you don't. So sometimes you got to play a little bit smarter. This one was not. So my percentage, if I did take these out just for grins, goes down to 32%. Again, not the end of the world, but it is a 4% difference on this one hit. So you can see for 2 hours of fighting today, I not only had positive trades on 8 out of 10 of them, but my overall score was very, very positive. So if this is something that interests you, it might not be, but if it is, this is linked down below. Again, all you have to do is click File, make a copy, and you'll have your own blank copy that you can edit and change. Again, all of the troop values are being pulled from unit info. I would not touch this page. If you break it, it's not going to work. Again, you can just re-download a new copy or make a new copy if you want, if you do mess it up. But you're going to have one here that goes through and has 10 reports. And again, I don't think it's something I'll do, but I did consider you could go through and just keep adding tabs and updating this for an entire season. And you could see how you traded over the entire season. You could add things like you could actually take a screenshot and upload it to Imager and link that to each of these things so you could see which fights took place where. There's a lot of things you could do, and my goal is to kind of come up with a standard score for this, so we could say that below 20% is an A, and maybe a 50% is a C or something like that, or maybe an A is below 10%. I'm not sure. So if you have any ideas on how this can be improved or how we standardize what this looks like, again, just taking into consideration resources and time right now, there are things like stamina and ability points that could also be factored in to say, hey, if you quick marched for this, or if you moved 3 times to get to this army, your cost was a little bit higher. But right now we're just looking at the resources and time, which again, I just found interesting, and it at least made me enjoy going through that and playing a little bit more analytically, if you will. So this is linked down below. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate the support as always. If you have any questions, please feel free to join the Discord, which is also in the description, and reach out. I'd be happy to help in any ways that I can. Again, huge shout out to Lanuk and Law for helping me get this fine-tuned, because this is not something I could have done on my own. So shout out to you guys and anybody else who's always been helping with these kind of projects. But that's going to do it for me in this one, and I'll see you guys in a future video.